Hi everyone, I am the CRM Ninja, and today on the Oops Factor, I have a very good friend appearing, Mario Trueba. Hopefully, I pronounced that properly.
That was absolutely perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for having me, Joy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Really appreciate you coming on, and I've been working all day on the pronunciation, of course. Uh, you should have heard me when I had Paddy Byrne
yeah,
on a couple of months ago or so, and I had
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
practice my Scottish accent. It's like, yeah.
Mate, I think you have been the first person in a long, long time that was able to do it on the first one. Because I'm always like Mario Trueba, and I'm like, no, it's not Trueba, it's Trueba. And Mario no, it's Trueba. So that was absolutely perfect, man. Congratulations.
Well, if you do stickers about first-time pronouncers, right? I need to get one of those stickers. I'm just
I
saying
think I'm
that.
gonna start. Doing that. Can I just say that actually, now that we're talking about the stickers, the main reason why I wanted to do this episode is because I know that you're going to be sending me a sticker. So
Yeah.
when is my sticker coming, anyway? Because I am looking forward to that.
So we need to record this episode, of course, first, and then I will get
Okay.
the sticker out to you, or we'll arrange, the post, or when I see
Absolutely,
you next. So don't worry, I've got one all ready and waiting.
absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. Okay.
Stickers are all the rage. It's all about, stickers, laptop. And I feel sorry sometimes. I know this is totally off topic, but I feel sorry sometimes for people who can't put stickers on their laptops.
I know. I know. There are some companies that they have that as a policy, because it's a company asset, and they're like, no, you can't put stickers. But actually, you think about it, it's actually better for a company to kind of be able to differentiate, because when you go into an office and everyone has the same laptop,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, which one is mine? So it's actually good, to put stickers on it, in my opinion.
So I agree with that to a point. I mean, my view on stickers on company laptops is called as company property, and you're going into clients and you need to present the right image. But some tasteful Microsoft stickers or showing the Microsoft community that is appropriate and not, majorly tacky and not off key. But I think,
100%.
reinforces the fact that we live and breathe the technology.
Exactly, 100%. For example, I have a sticker of, these stickers that it has the heart, I love Microsoft Dynamics.
Yes.
I think that is a great sticker because, it shows the customer that is sitting in front of you that you're actually breathing the technology, that you are, so in love with the technology that you're willing to put it on your laptop. So I think, in my opinion, again, I think it looks good in a way. I mean, obviously having random stickers from anything, like some of our friends do.
You need to be careful, yes, and it can depend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
By the way, if anybody out there wants a CRM Ninja sticker, feel free, drop me a line. I'm more than happy to send it out.
I gotta say that you guys should definitely take that offer, okay? Because it looks really, really cool. And I gotta say, man, I've been obviously, I can imagine that you've been doing some research on me when you were trying to learn my surname. But I was doing some research, and I have to say, I love the website and the way you have designed it, man. Really, really, it's really, really good. It's really, really good. So my compliments to that.
Thanks, but it's not just me. It's about the community. I reached out to people. I've never built a proper website before. I mean, it's really basic, and I reached out for help and stuff. So they were really helpful.
Awesome.
And useful. Yeah.
Even better. I mean, I'm still lazy for that, man. I have my blog, and the content is good. Don't get me wrong. The content is,
I work really hard for it. Come on. Don't be so modest.
Thank you. But I work really hard for the content. But on the styling, I am terrible. And the worst part is that my wife is a graphic designer. And every time she sees me putting a blog post up, she's like, "Are you really gonna put it on the website?" I'm like, "Yeah, people don't matter. People don't look at that." And she's like, "People do." And I'm like, "Well, one day."
Yes, I know the feeling, and perhaps I mean, when designing things like Power Apps, I'm model driven all the way. I come from that design canvas. Yeah. I just don't get it. So you team up with people. Yeah.
No, I think. Go for it.
Go on.
No. I was going to say that I think the point that you just made is really, really important. So recently I've been starting to pay more attention to the way I design the Canvas apps, because as I come from a model driven. So, the UI was built for you. That's it. Easy peasy. So recently I've been putting more and more effort in, building my Canvas apps and making them look nice. And, there are amazing examples in the community that we can see. And, because I couldn't believe that, some of the advent calendars that they have been during this recent Christmas, I was like, have they really built that on Power Apps? I mean, that is amazing. I mean, I want to be able to do that.
It's quite seriously amazing, some of the stuff that's out there, I do have to say.
Absolutely. So I would recommend, because I am actually putting a lot of effort in, if someone is starting with Power Apps and with Canvas apps, do not just try not to stay with the out of the box and, with the normal one. Just put a little bit of effort, because the customers will really, really appreciate it.
Yep. And on that note, so Ignite was obviously very recently. And did you see, I know that you weren't there, but Sancho did a presentation. He's got a brander and he's updated it now. So you can apply a color and it will play everywhere through Canvas app. And it's unbelievable. And
it is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of the work from Sancho. He's quite active on Twitter. It's absolutely mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing.
So he was saying he was going through the code. There were like 900 places that it touches, and he wrote this app around it that touches every single thing.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing, man. That is I was really gutted not to be able to make it to Ignite, but
this is life. Can't all get the free swag.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get any free swag. So I mean, hopefully I'll be able to get some maybe in the Scottish Summit or in the London Power Platform event. So hopefully.
Well, I happen to have a couple of spare Power Platypus stickers, so I can get one.
Yeah, we need to talk. Talk. What do you want? Ask me what you want.
So, from talks of swag and stickers, what do you have to share with us about your Oops Factor story?
Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about what was my Oops Factor, because I've made so many mistakes. But actually, I think mistakes are good. I think that's what you really, really learn. If everything goes smooth and you never make a mistake, then So I was thinking, which one can I tell that is kind of like a bit funny, because it made me have to work through the whole night in order to fix it. Right. It does have a good ending. We managed to solve the issue. Good. So this is a story of when. So I used to work with I used to work for a certain organization. Okay. Let's not say any names.
No, it's fine. You don't need to name anything.
They were very, very customer focused. Okay, so Dynamics 365 was a perfect match for that organization. Okay. And as part of that, we had a contact center. They have a contact center, and we needed to do some transformation on the contact center. Yeah. So we decided to go full on Microsoft technologies, Dynamics 365, Unified Service Desk. Let's go for it.
Unified Service Desk.
This wasn't now the omni-channel experience and all the things that you get now. This was 4 or 5 years ago. So Unified Service Desk was actually still on the first version. So we were like, well, Microsoft technologies, let's go for it, let's implement it. And we did. And I have to say, and I take my hat off, because that was a time where Neil Parkhurst started doing a lot of blogging and a lot of work on USD.
I was wondering if you were going to mention Neil, because anytime anybody says USD or Unified Service Desk, Neil's name immediately pops into mind. He's got really great resources around it.
You have to. That man literally saved my project, because every time that I had a question, and I was going to the documentation of the product and there was nothing. But then you were going to Neil's blog and he was there. He was literally there. So no, definitely. I mean, I do, and I told him this. I remember the first time that I met him. He was giving a session on USD, and at the end of the session, I went up to him and said, "Look, you don't know me, but I know you. Thank you so much. You've saved my life in a couple of occasions."
Not the first, not the last.
Exactly. No. The man has a really good reputation, and the work that he did in USD, it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, we were a small team. I think it was only 3 of us. Okay. But then one of them had to drop for another project, so we ended up being only 2. Wow. Perfect size, for a team. So we decided to implement USD for the contact centers, and we're talking about 5 different contact centers and like 50 or 60 agents.
A small project.
So it was a small project. The thing was that this was then going to grow into another 3 contact centers that was going to have more people because they were expanding. Yep. This organization was doing really well. So we said, well, we're going to put USD. We're only 2, so we can have things under control. All good, all fine. Now, on the day that we were going to go live,
Go
Of course,
live day.
before on the night that we were going to go live, and obviously before we went live, we decided to focus on a specific contact center.
Okay.
Because it was smaller, there were only 20 people, and it was easy to go there, sit down with the agents. And by the way, if any of you is planning to or is working on a contact center project, my first advice, apart from reading Neil's blogs, if you're going to put USD, my first advice, and this really paid off, is go and sit down with the agents.
Yes.
Spend a couple of days listening to the calls with them for two reasons mainly. One, they are your users, and you need to understand what happens when a call comes in and it's a very horrible customer. Really, I know you told me not to say any swear words, but if it's a completely shitty customer that that is treating you very badly, you need to understand how that person is going through, or the level of anxiety that the person might have. They need to be nice to the customer, and at the same time, they need to deal with the system. Yes. If the system doesn't work, imagine this is a time machine, and they just want to throw the computer through the window.
It all collapses. I know I've sat in a couple of call centers contact centers to do exactly that, just to understand exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. I mean, I've always told them, look, anyone can do my job, but personally, I won't be able to do your job because I'm Spanish. I have temper.
let's look at that, right? So the night before go live.
So the night before go live, we had this small contact center. Everything was gonna be perfect. 20 people. We knew them all. They knew our names, so we could talk to them. And this contact center, they didn't close at night, so it was 24/7. So obviously we had to be extremely careful when deploying things.
Yes.
So we started, and this was nothing. So this was the moment where we were going to move things from UAT environment into a production environment. Okay, and for that, with the old USD, and I think it's still the same. You needed to use a tool called the configuration migration.
Yes.
Right. That tool, you had to install it on your machine, and then basically was moving because with USD all the configuration is based on data. It's similar to how the portals work. Yes. And then you have your connectors, so you have your different DLLs that you can apply and things like that. Anyway, on go live night, we have practiced the migration from environment to environment 25 different times.
Okay.
On go live night, we started the migration completely failed. It just didn't go through. Yes, completely.
Okay.
Completely. We were sharing our screen between my colleagues and myself. He was running the tool. And every time that we started, in trying to run the tool, it was failing. It wasn't importing, and nothing was being copied. So I'm like, oof, okay. So what are we gonna do? Okay, well, let's try. And I was like, I'll try and run it myself. Okay, so I tried running myself, and it was the same thing. It wasn't working. Then he calls me and say, Mario, I can see records in production. I can see the configuration in production appearing. And I was like, that's impossible. It has failed.
Okay.
And I was like, no. It's coming up, but it's kind of having duplicates. So basically what was happening was that using the configuration migration, the application was giving us an error, but obviously it had already sent all the data through the web services.
So they sent everything through and then it errored, but the data had already been pushed.
Exactly. So the data had already been pushed, but then we sent it so I think obviously my colleague and I, we were in a bit of this was like 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock, sorry, 1 o'clock at night. So we were like, oh no, we need to make this work. So we had sent the data like 3, 4, 5, 6 times the minimum.
Right.
So again, this was at the beginning of the product. So the product wasn't, let's just say that it was a bit of a pain in the ass, especially if you had all that configuration in the data.
Correct.
So we also had told everyone at that contact center that at 2 p.m., that at 2 o'clock, this is in the morning, they needed to switch on Unified Service Desk. And for that specific contact center, we had agreed that they were going to decommission their old system. So their old system was not going to work, and they were going to have to run with Unified Service Desk. So it just didn't work at all. Like we just obviously We were both in panic, and we had a production system that had like 4 or 5 different configurations, and it was all the same. But obviously, USD wasn't working at all. Every time that they tried to open it, nothing. It wasn't working. So at the end, how did we fix that? We completely removed all the configuration in USD, and we manually copied absolutely everything from our UAT environment into our production environment. And I have to give
kudos. Did you find out why it failed? Why it was erroring? We
did find out at the end, because it was a Windows application. So the configuration migration is a Windows application. So due to an update on the company policies of our Windows 10 machines, that happened that same night, it removed the access via company policy to use the .NET 4.6, one of the framework requirements that application had. And that was the reason why it was failing. But the annoying thing is that it wasn't failing when you open it, it was failing at the very, very end. So obviously we didn't know that they was publishing. So we had a mess of a production environment. Everyone was waiting on us. It was only two of us. And within 2 hours, between my colleague and me, I have to give kudos to this guy. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah, definitely.
We replicated every single configuration from a UAT environment into a production environment. By 4 o'clock, so we obviously at 2 o'clock, I received a call from the contact center manager, and I said, look, give me a couple of hours. I need 2 hours. Just give me 2 hours. We're going to be working, nonstop, and we're going to fix this. So I called them at 4 o'clock in the morning, saying, look, give it a go, try, and tell me how it is. And they started testing it, and both my colleague and I, we were on call. And I think it was around 5 o'clock in the morning. Everything was looking good. Obviously, we only had 4 users. Okay, so overnight we only had 4 users. So, and the usage, obviously, the volume of calls was much
much lower.
So the real test was going to happen at 7 in the morning. By 5:30, my colleague, I was obviously having coffee every 5 minutes, but my colleague didn't like coffee. He hates coffee.
I empathize. I don't drink coffee myself.
Which I understand, but obviously in that scenario with all the adrenaline, I needed to give him I needed him to drink something that would keep him awake. And he was just drinking hot chocolate. Like, he was enjoying his hot chocolate, which is amazing. By 5:30 in the morning, I started listening to him snoring on the call, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And I was like, are you okay? Are you asleep? No, I'm not. No, I'm fine. I know. Look, you're asleep. Go to bed. Come back at 7, or do something, because I need you awake. But to be honest, the guy was an absolute star. He did an amazing, incredible job in migrating all those configurations within a couple of hours.
So everything then came back up and was working all right? Everything
then back up. Everything was okay. Apart from one of the, so in USD, that on the left-hand side, you can put some links for the agent. And we had that configured that based on the type of calls and some controls that you could click, it was going to change. So the only thing that we missed, and actually that's kind of kudos to, to the real focus that we did at night. It's the only thing that we missed was some of the text that we had on the left-hand side.
Okay.
We just didn't. It was like, that's it. No.
Yeah. But that's also minor to handle and to deal with and to address later.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that kind of shows a couple of things. One, that mistakes happen, and the only thing that you can do is you can just work harder to fix it. And people are normally. We were very, very lucky that the guys at the contact center, they knew us, and because they knew how hard we have been working on it, they were like, okay, guys, no worries. We know that you have been working really hard, so if we have to be a couple of hours picking up the phone and writing it down on a notepad, we will do.
You have that good working relationship with them already, which is really so key to when things like this happen.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And also because they knew that we were going to give our 200% to get this sorted. So again, mistakes happen. You can't do anything about it. The only thing that you can do is you can can trust on the team that you have, because if I didn't have this guy with me, then I wouldn't be able to do anything. Although at the end, it was so funny that he fell asleep. But then I will say, trust the team that you have, and just be a nice guy. with with everyone, and especially with the users that are going to be using what you are producing, because it's very simple for us to it's very simple for us to to be coding or making a power app and then giving it to the users, and because you are not the one experiencing the pain of some of the decisions that you might have made, it's like, oh, it's perfect, it's working just exactly as they wanted it, and it's like, well, maybe not, maybe and especially in this scenario, maybe it's taking 3 seconds to open up a screen, and the customer is already saying, there is when you're having a telephone conversation, especially on a contact with a contact center, one of the things that they want to avoid is that silence that gets on the line when the customer.
Correct. They need to keep them engaged.
Exactly.
And stuff.
They need to keep engaged. They need to keep them entertained in a way.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's kind of my.
So, and I would add, from my understanding of that and my own experience, one additional point, which is you need to engage with the other IT infrastructure people to make sure all the things like security policies and stuff aren't rolled out to that point, because you need to make sure to test in the environment that you're actually going to be using for it, because stuff like that otherwise will just really throw a curveball.
No, 1,000,000%. I mean, we already had like a million plans. I mean, we even had a plan for because we said, so before we did the go live, we were like, right, we need to put ourselves in the worst case scenario. So
plan
what
B,
will happen?
plan C, plan D,
exactly.
plan D2, yes.
So we even had plans for what if our UAT environment goes down, or what if someone deletes our UAT environment? It's online, so it's not going to happen. But what if someone deletes our UAT environment? What do we do? Okay, don't worry, we'll take a copy from our development environment. We bring the data, and then we completely. I mean, we even had SSIS packages to obscure the data, just to make sure that there was no customer data. So we had everything planned.
You were prepared. Yes. Well done on that.
Apart from someone changing a policy the night before and then not being able to run the configuration migration. So
thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Iwan.
It's a really great story, and definitely a really good one that I've heard today. So I'm sure everybody will enjoy watching it. And now, what I've recently started to ask people to appear on the show is, if you could nominate somebody to appear on the show and share their Oops Factor story, who would you nominate?
I could nominate someone. I know he has a really good one. I don't know if he's going to share that one, but I know he has a really good one. I'm going to nominate my fellow Spaniard, Ramon Tebar.
Okay.
Who I know he has a really good story. Like a really, really good story, because so we interviewed Ramon for our podcast, and he told us that story, and it's a really, really good story.
Brilliant. Well, I'll hook up with you offline, and if we can get an introduction done, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm sure he'll be happy. He'll be happy to come. Definitely.
Brilliant. Really appreciate that.
Thanks. Right. How have we done? Have we stuck on? We're not on time.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about the time. We're enjoying the story. I'm really enjoying this story. But now story's over. So viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed that. If you'd like to appear on the Oops Factor, feel free to hit the link below, fill out the form, and I'll drop you a line to book you in. Please also feel free to check out the rest of the Oops Factor playlist and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as take a look at my blog. Have a great day, everybody.